Got kind of a funny story with that one that I feel like this is the right place to say this. So there was one year when I was just getting started. I played a show with Hayes Carl up in Fort Worth and never met him before. It's the first time we met, and he said, yeah, this was back 2006, I think, and he said, "Hey, I like your band. You got a good band." I said, "Thanks." And within 2 weeks, he had hired my whole band. He stole them out from under me. My band became Hayes Carl's band, and I had no band anymore. And I went, "Oh, okay, that's how I see how this works." And so there was a minute there where there was, I wasn't happy about that. And and so Jamie Lynn Wilson and we were touring around a lot together back in those days, and every time the word Hayes would come up, we would go Hayes for this reason. And so now every time in that song it says early morning Hayes. And every time I play with Jamie, still to this day, every time I say early morning Hayes, she goes, Hayes. But we're cool now. I love Hayes Carl. He's great. He's great. He's fantastic. And that band is now playing with Aaron Lewis. It's Aaron Lewis's band now. So. Been up and down this highway, and I don't have a single thing to show. Except these words that I'm singing, well, I found them by the side of the road. Somewhere in Amarillo, I think somebody left them behind. Well, finders are keepers, and I'll take all the keepers I can find. Words like diamonds, best ones are the hardest to find. Buried in the bottom of the coal, waiting to shine. When I got home this evening, I was worried about things she might say. See, I've left her alone lately, driving on to another place to play. She just whispered in my ear exactly what I needed to hear tonight. So let tomorrow be tomorrow, 'cause I know everything's gonna be alright. Words are like diamonds, best ones are the hardest to find. Buried in the bottom of the coal, just waiting to shine. Well, I got friends and I got heroes, and you know I've loved them all just the same. And I don't think I've ever told them all the things I need to say. Well, maybe one day I'll know the words that I'm trying to find. But for now I'm gonna keep on searching, digging deeper down this old coal mine. Words like diamonds, best one buried in the bottom of the coal, just waiting to shine. Buried in the bottom of the coal, just waiting to shine. All right, thank you. Y'all got the close seats. Yeah. It is very personal, yeah. Let's see. Let's do this one. You know what it is already? All right. It's been a long December, too long for my taste, but I'm a traveler, and this is a place I'm leaving this evening to be on my way somewhere farther from you. Hands in my pocket, I walk a while till an open sign calls and I step inside. I'll stay for a minute, then I'll have to try get a little farther from you. I sit by the window and wait for my drink. People walk by me and smile. It's warm by the fireplace, dark in the street. And maybe I'll stay a while. Maybe I'll stay a while. Well, I've been living this way for a couple of years, a little time there and a little time here. Leaving's the only way I can stay clear and keep from thinking about you. I sit by the window and wait for my drink. People walk by me and smile. It's warm by the fireplace, dark in the street. And maybe I'll stay a while. Maybe I'll stay a while. Well, lately I've been thinking I've grown a little tired and grown a little stronger than I realized. I'm starting to remember what life was like before I started thinking about you. It's been a long December, too long for my taste, but I am a traveler. This is a place I was leaving this evening to be on my way, but I'm a little bit more of you now, a little bit more over you. I sit by the window, she brings me my drink, turns around and smiles. It's warm in here, it's cold on the street, and maybe I'll stay a while. 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 All right, thanks. Yeah, it's cool to see these songs on this list. Some of them I don't play enough. Here's one from my last record. Well, I've had loaded conversations where I could have used some hesitation to slow down my damnation before the fall. My hurt words have caused more hurting than any thought of mine is worth, and I'll be damned if I'll say anything at all. And I push them to the back of my mind. Still they show up from time to time. And I don't really know what that means. I don't like to think about these things. I don't like to think about these things. Well, I've had run-ins with the devil, and I've seen glimpses into hell enough to know to keep myself behind the line. Still, there's things I think about that I know damn well I should do without. Things that ain't no good for this peace of mind. And I push them to the back of my mind. Still, they show up from time to time. And I don't really know what that means. I don't like to think about these things. I don't like to think about these things. Well, every day's a new temptation, but I've gotten better at hesitating long enough to stay away from the misery. Some days I get close, but I thank God that most of the time I catch myself before it catches me. And I push them to the back of my mind. Still they show up from time to time. And I don't really know what that means. I don't like to think about these things. No, I don't really know what that means. No, I don't like to think about these things. No, I don't like to think about these things. Thank you. Okay, here's one that. So I wrote this for my daughter. She was getting ready to graduate high school, and she was going into her senior year of high school, and I walked in on her one day, and she was filling out college applications, and I went, "Uh-oh. This is happening for real." And so I wrote this song, and she's doing great now. That was a long time ago now, because she has since graduated college, and she's a full-grown adult now, and until she needs money, and then you know how that goes. Yeah. I'm kidding, kind of. Being an adult sounds fun, right? Yeah. And the other day she was going through something, and she said, "This sucks." And I said, "Well, you've been waiting for this." She couldn't wait to be an adult, and now she's like, "This sucks." Yeah. Well, I remember when she couldn't wait to see me. She'd jump up in my arms and hold on tight and tell me all about the things she learned that day say, Dad, what are we doing tonight? Now it's riding around with friends and hanging out. College applications and life. And I smile and I'm proud. And I cry, but not too loud. I always thought she'd be my little girl forever. I never really thought this time would come. And I love to see the woman that she's growing up to be. There's still so many things we haven't done. And I'm holding on to every little minute. I'm holding on for dear life. And I smile and I'm proud. And I cry, but not too loud. I haven't always been the dad that I thought I'd be. God knows that I'd go back if I could. Maybe she will learn from the mistakes I've made. Wouldn't that be good? And I smile and I'm proud. And I cry, but not too loud. All right. Thanks. Day after day, I kept feeling the same way, running up and down these roads till they'd end. I woke up in Charleston with my head in the sand. Seemed like good a place as any to begin. Lost my mind in Carolina, lost myself along the way. Don't feel sorry for me, darling. That's the reason why I'm standing here today. Some will say that I've gone crazy, some will say that I'm just lazy. Me, I say I've finally given in. Giving in ain't giving up, surrendering is powerful stuff. Don't care where you go, where you've been. Lost my mind in Carolina, lost myself along the way. Don't feel sorry for me, darling. That's the reason why I'm standing here today. Well, it took me some time to finally realize what I found out there on that sand. I tried to make it all make sense. I think too much, I always did, but there's just some things we'll never understand. Lost my mind in Carolina, lost myself along the way. Don't feel sorry for me, darling. That's the reason why I'm standing here today. Lost my mind in Carolina, lost myself along the way. Don't feel sorry for me, darling. So I never know whether, sitting or standing. That's the big dilemma at these things. But it feels like a standing night. I'm going to stand up. Yeah. This is like the equivalent of a wardrobe change. So who drove the furthest? Who thinks they drove the furthest? You flew from L.A.? Okay, I'm sure that wins. It's got to, yeah. I can't even imagine. Can anybody beat Los Angeles? That is Los Angeles, not Louisiana, right? Yeah. I'm going out to L.A. I'll play there in August, I think. I'm going out there. Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm doing good to know that I'll be there. Yeah. There's a bottle on the dresser by your ring, and it's empty. So right now I don't feel a thing, but I'll be hurting when I wake up on the floor, and I'll be over it by noon. That's the difference between whiskey and you. Come tomorrow, well, I can walk in any store. It ain't a problem, 'cause they'll always sell me more. But your forgiveness, well, that's something I can't buy. There ain't anything that I can do. And that's the difference between whiskey and you. One's the devil, one keeps driving me insane. Times I wonder if they ain't both the same. One's a liar, come to hide me from my pain, and one's a long gone bitter truth. And that's the difference between whiskey and you. Well, I got a problem, but it ain't like what you think. I drink because I'm lonesome, and I'm lonesome cause I drink. And if I don't break down, bring it on myself, and it'll hit out of the blue. And that's the difference between whiskey and you. One's the devil, one keeps driving me insane. Sometimes I wonder if they ain't both the same. One's a liar, come to hide me from my pain. One's a long gone bitter truth. And that's the difference between whiskey and you. difference between whiskey and you. All right. Thanks. Well, that's a Chris Stapleton song, and I would love to take credit for it. But I heard that song a long time ago in a demo that my wife sent over to me, and she said, "I think you're going to like this song," and she was right. I did. And at the time, it had only been recorded by Tim McGraw, and I hope I don't upset any Tim McGraw fans in here, but it was different, you know. And I went, "Oh man, I would love to have a crack at that one." So anyway, so I recorded it, and then not knowing that a year after I put it out, Chris Stapleton was gonna blow up and be king of the country music world, you know. But my version of that song came out before his did, and so a lot of people think that I wrote it and that he recorded my song, and I get congratulated on that a lot. But it's not true. It's not true. I'm still waiting. That'd be great if those checks were coming in. Tell you what, let me do this one. This is a song that I got to write with my daughter. Speaking of my daughter, she was home last year during the pandemic, the shutdown. I guess 2020, last year. It seems like last year. The whole thing seems like it was at times running together. But anyway, she came home from college and got stuck living with her parents again. And she came up one day, and I was writing this song, and she asked if she could help me write it. And so I said, yeah. So I have a co-write with my daughter on this song. And it's about this time right now that we're back in. Back in the days before it all started, I was going my way like I'd always done. Now I'm looking around for my dearly departed, wandering these streets like I'm all alone. What are we doing? Are we getting back to normal? And we find ourselves out in the world again. What are we doing? Are we getting back to normal? And we'll find we're somewhere we ain't ever been. I always believed the world had an answer, but now I think that I've been thinking all wrong. The questions I had, well, I never really asked them. Truth is, I don't wanna know after all. What are we doing? Are we getting back to normal? And we find ourselves out in the world again. What are we doing? Are we getting back to normal? And we find we're somewhere we ain't ever been. But we believe what we want to. See the photo in the frame. All those things that we hold on to can't never be the same. Well, every day is a brand new beginning. Ain't that what all the sages say? So every night there's a brand new ending. Tomorrow can't be like yesterday. What are we doing? Are we getting back to normal? And we find ourselves out in the world again. What are we doing? Are we getting back to normal? And we find we're somewhere ever been. Yeah, we'll find we're somewhere we ain't ever been. Yeah, we'll find we're somewhere we ain't ever been. So I know I have a list here, and I will get to them. Once I stood up, I realized I can't see the list anymore. So, give me something. Y'all yell. Okay. All right. Good. Okay, now we're good. All right. Well, I saw Jesus in the corner. He was talking to my friend. They both looked my way and turned around. I guess I should remember all the trouble that I've been. It's just promises and pieces on the ground. Well, I was drunk, tired, and busted the day he took me in and offered me protection from myself. I guess I should have told him I'm no kind of friend. Well, I guess he found out the day I left. I took the money from the wallet on the table by the door. Pistol that he told me he kept locked inside the drawer. I took off before the sun came up. Didn't see him anymore. Well, I was killing time in Reno, where the snow fell on the ground, and I was counting out what a little I had left. I asked the bartender, pour another round. I threw a 10 down on the table, saved one for myself. I walked across the street in daylight with that pistol in my jeans. I walked up and told the teller I don't want to cause a scene. Just put the money in this suitcase. We can do this nice and clean. Well, I was almost to the front door when I heard that siren scream. They were just around the corner, coming fast. I turned back to that teller, and he was looking right at me. Well, I just watched him fall as I let that pistol blast. And I ran back through the alley, and I never turned around. And I heard all their voices as they tried to track me down. I threw the pistol in that river. I jumped a train, leaving town. In a hotel out by Carson Lake, I was trying to lay low. when I heard some locals talking down the hall. Seems they'd caught the man who'd robbed that Wells Fargo. Up in Reno, you don't mess around with the law. Well, I guess my friend came looking just like he'd done before. They'd already found his pistol that had washed up on the shore. Yesterday they hanged a man. I couldn't run anymore. And I saw Jesus in the corner. He was talking to my friend. They both looked my way and turned around. I guess I should remember all the trouble that I've been. It's just promises and pieces on the ground. It's just promises and pieces on the ground. Yeah, all right, thank you. So I've got a story I really like to tell about that one. So I had written that song, and I took a lot of time with it, more than I normally take with songs, and like months, working on this thing and making sure all the plot points lined up and the people lined up, and it all made sense. Wanted it to stand up to scrutiny, and so just really was proud of it. And I went up to Cleveland, Ohio, right after I wrote it and played it, and I was excited to play it. And afterwards, I was talking to some people, and this guy walked up, and out of the entire 90 minutes that I had played, what he chose to tell me was, he said, that metal weighs more than water, so if you threw the pistol in the river, it would never wash back up on the shore. Yeah. I thought, you keep your physics out of my country music, sir. There's no room for physics in country music. So then this story just keeps going. It's like it's got a life of its own. So then after that, I was playing in Reno, and this lady, and I told that story, and this lady came up and she goes, no, the Truckee River runs out of the mountains here, and it's literally on the way down, and it runs so fast. And there was a scientific term, I don't know what it was, but there's a term, she said, it like takes it, and it would have pushed the pistol up on the land. And so I felt redeemed. And I thought, I knew that the whole time. I knew. That's why I chose Reno, right? Yeah. And so then I went back to Cleveland, and I told that story. And it turns out the first guy was there. He was at that show. Yeah. He didn't like that story nearly as much. And then I've never seen him since. I've played in Cleveland a lot, and he disappeared. I lost a fan. But whatever. He shouldn't have said that. Okay. All right. Black Jesus. I'll do this. This is a Channing Wilson song, and I don't do many that I don't write. I just, not for any reason other than just, I don't know. I just really have to feel a song and feel like I would have written it or could have written it. And this was definitely one of those. The first time I heard it, I just fell in love with the song. And if you don't know Channing Wilson, he's unbelievable. He's out of North Georgia, Chattanooga, Tennessee area, and just an amazing songwriter. He just came down and did his first run in Texas last week, and just amazing songwriter. So I got this song from him, and when I first heard it, I really was mad at myself because I meant to write this song, and he beat me to it. So, but I'm going to do it different tonight. I'm going to do it the way that I heard it. This is the way Channing wrote it. I sped it up and kind of made a little bluegrass version out of it because I didn't want to just copy him. But I think I'll do it. This is the original way. I was 18 working on a road crew in Georgia. He was a Vietnam vet, Tennessee. He held the post while I drove the hammer. Rain or shine, side by side, 5 days a week. And he taught me the blues, and I'd sing for him old Hank Williams tunes. He'd say, boy, the only difference between us is your white and my black Jesus. Well, the pay, it was barely legal, and I wasted mine on cigarettes and booze. His went to his woman and his children, and the rest he'd bet on anything that moves. And he taught me the blues, and I'd sing for him old Hank Williams tunes. He'd say, boy, the only difference between us is your white and my black Jesus. Well, I woke last night to the sound of thunder, and my mind drifted back to that old man. I ain't seen him since I left Georgia. Yeah, but something tells me we'll meet again. And he taught me the blues, and I sang for him old Willie Nelson tune. And he'd say, boy, the only difference between us is your white and my black Jesus. When we meet again, there'll be nothing between us. It'll just be him and me and Jesus. All right. Thank you. All right, I'll do this. It's Saturday night. I'll do this song. It seems appropriate. This is a song that I wrote last year, a couple years ago now. Thinking back on the early days of getting started playing music, and when I first started playing, and I would go out and play, and here it was one of those places. And you sit backstage and you go, I hope people are here, And when I say I hope people are here, I don't mean that generally. I mean literally, like, I hope one person is out there, please. So there's a lot of nights that they're not there. And so you end up playing to the bartender. That's your audience a lot. So this is kind of about those days. And I remember this place specifically. I was coming down here and playing, and I came down with the Dead Ringers one time, and we played probably 2006. And Ryan Bingham showed up, and he was living in the back of his truck, and he was sleeping outside. And he came in and he bellied up right where my friend Jason James is standing right now. And yeah, it's see. And he sat right there at the bar, and he came up in between sets, and he goes, "Y'all mind if I play a few songs?" And he got up and played a few songs and just blew everybody away, and then disappeared into the night, and then ended up on Yellowstone somehow. I don't know what happened in the middle there. I don't know. It's gray. It's a gray area. Glad you made it, buddy. sitting in a corner table all alone. There's a man keeps staring at his telephone. You can hear the cars are rolling by, and that ain't right. It's quiet around here for Saturday night. Well, there's a jukebox playing the same old song we've been listening to all night long. It's 11:15, hadn't been a fight. It's quiet around here for Saturday night. Jenny's cleaning up back behind the bar. Junior made his move, but he didn't get far. Yeah, she's heard it all before, so she shut him down tight. It's quiet around here for Saturday night. They got me set up in a corner and it's time to play. Jenny pours a shot and then I take the stage. She likes to move to my groove when the crowd is light. It's quiet around here for Saturday night. It's quiet around here for Saturday night. Well, I play up to the minute that they close it down. I look across the room, ain't nobody around. Jenny says, come on, she turns out the light. It's quiet around here for Saturday night. It's quiet around here for Saturday night. It's quiet around here. It's quiet around here. It's quiet around here for Saturday night. During those days, I was playing open mics around Fort Worth area, and I would go to this one open mic every Tuesday night at the White Elephant Saloon in Fort Worth. And I was still working a day job, and I would go do it. And then one day, the bartender at the White Elephant came up to me, and he said, hey, I'm a musician, and somebody gave me this gig down the street every Wednesday night, and it's 4 hours, and I don't have enough material for 4 hours. You know, you want to go do it together? And I said, yeah, and we did it for about a year, and the most people we ever had was about 10 people, and that was a good night, and usually there was nobody, and we would even do this thing where the owner would come in, and sometimes we'd just start talking to each other and just forget to even play, you know, and then the owner would walk in, and we'd start in the middle of a song real quick and start playing, but that bartender's name was Cody Jinks. That's who that was, and yeah. It was really cool. He was the bartender at the White Elephant for years and years. Yeah. So, man, I'm name dropping like hell tonight. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna keep going. Yeah. How many more can I get in? That's true. Okay. All right. Where I've been. So the thing about this request thing is I might not remember them. That's the thing. When I first started, I used to go watch people that I loved and people that I grew up listening to, and they would forget. They'd say, I don't know that song. And I thought, how can you not know a song that you wrote? And I said, I'll never do that ever. And that's impossible. I definitely forget a lot. So I'll just preface that with there's a chance I'll get halfway through this and we'll have to move on. And but I think I got this one. She said, I haven't been thinking about leaving as much as I used to. In fact, I haven't been thinking too much at all, and I sure ain't been thinking about you. Well, I've been staying out late, keeping my head down, looking for a place to fall. Then I come home in the morning, it's early and too late to worry, rest my back against this wall. She said, you ain't the kind of love I'm needing, and you just ain't been living like the man that I once knew. So I've given up and given in, taking what I need every now and then. And if you ever decide you ever want to try again, well, I'll be here in the morning, just don't ask me where I've been. She said, I hope someday you'll see me the way that I used to see you. And honey, I'll be around, just won't be taking your time, 'cause I do what I gotta do. This is not what I wanted, I'd rather be home, but a home takes more than me. So if you ever get tired or lonely, just remember I'm only as gone as you want me to be. She said, you ain't been giving me the kind of love I'm needing, you just ain't been living like the man that I once knew. So I've given up and given in, taking what I need every now and then. And if you ever decide you ever want to try again, well, I'll be here in the morning, just don't ask me where I've been. Yeah, I'll be here in the morning, just don't ask me where I've been. Some hairy moments. There's a few times where I thought I might lose it, but I pulled through. Thanks. I love this stuff. Y'all having fun? Everybody's good? Yeah, okay. Man, my eyes are just so bad. AM country. All right, let's do that. Okay. Okay, so this one comes from me long story short, when I first moved to Texas back in 2005, I discovered this Texas music scene, but I had grown up on country music, and that's all I ever listened to was mostly country music, and the radio by country music. I mean, top 40, country radio. And then I moved to Texas, and I found out that there were people like Robert Earl Keen, and I went, oh man, I didn't know that existed, And so I got really into that, and that's all I listened to for a while. And then one day I was driving down Luckenbach, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and I said, I wonder what's going on country radio. Let me check it out. And I turned it on, and it was the top 40 country countdown, and the number one country song that week was Honky Tonk Badonkadonk. And I said, well, this is not what I remember. And so So I wrote a song about it, and I had a whole record titled it, and I did a whole thing, and then I quit doing it for a little while because I just didn't want to be that. There's a lot of people that are doing really good job of that, and I just, I left it alone there for a minute, and then a few years ago, I turned the radio back on again. Oh my God! I mean, I don't even know what it is anymore. Yeah, yeah. It's made honky tonk badonkadonk sounds like a legit country song now. So I don't even know, what it takes. I really don't know what it takes to be. You have to make a record in Nashville, and that's it. I think that's what it takes to be called country these days. Yeah, yeah. So I will. I've resurrected this song, and I hope that my greatest hope is that one day this song doesn't make sense anymore. That would be a huge. I would love one day for somebody to go, I don't get it. I would go, that's great. That's success. Until then, I'll keep doing it. I will also say, though, that I have heard some of the best country music that I've ever heard in my life in the last 5 or 6 years. There's just this incredible country revival going on. It's not on the radio. You have to seek it out. You have to go find it. It's guys like Jason James. And there's a million people doing it. Not a million. There's like 5, actually. There's like, by a million, I mean 5. But it's out there, and there's really, really great country music. Country music is alive and well. It's just the radio part of it is still missing. But the music itself and the people that want to hear it has not changed at all. So I'm very hopeful for the future of country music. Well, they sing about Jesus, they sing about Jones, and they sing of American pride. But they're all too damn clean, polished like stones, and they won't sing about cheating or lies. I remember the days when the singers just sang and left it all in the stories they tell. These days we're in AM country heaven and FM country hell. Well, I miss the days when the women were ugly and the men were all 40 years old. 'Cause you had to say something for people to listen. Now they just do what they're told. Well, it's all about idols, pretty blonde hair, and how many trucks you can sell. Out here in AM country heaven and FM country hell. Well, out on these back roads, only real truth that I know don't cross the radio band. It cuts through the static like a chill in the air. It fades out, then it comes back again. Well, I don't mean to sound jaded, 'cause I know there are plenty of young singers who aren't up for sale. But they're all stuck in AM country heaven and FM country hell. Well, I knew it was over the day that I overheard a record executive cry. Keep it all simple. Don't get offensive and don't play songs in 3/4 time. Well, Mr. Record Man, I hope you don't take offense, but you're a hell of a joke, I can tell. You're the reason we're AM country heaven and FM country hell. You're the reason we're in AM country heaven and FM country hell. All right, thank you. It's been a long time and I finally gotten over you. I took untold women and a lot of whiskey down. Tonight I'm lying here in this city I don't know. I'm thinking I might call you up again. Would you tell me that you've been dreaming of me? You've been waking up, just waiting on my call. Or is that just me doing some wishful drinking? I wonder if you've thought of me at all. Well, my life has been a long line of habits I can't break, and everyone has finally brought me down. Take another pull, put this bottle on the ground. If I said I was through, would you believe me now? Would you tell me that you've been dreaming of me? You've been waking up, just waiting on my call. Or is that just me doing some wishful drinking? I wonder if you thought of me at all. I don't know why I thought I come around tonight. Well, maybe I just hoped I'd hit the ground. It's time to fly again, and maybe I'll see you someday. We can talk about how far we've come. Would you tell me that you've been dreaming of me? You've been waking up, just waiting on my call. Is that just me doing some wishful drinking? I wonder if you thought of me at all. Yeah, is that just me doing some wishful drinking? I wonder if you thought of me at all. All right, thanks. Okay, I see this next song on here. So this is a song that I have retired because it's outdated. It doesn't make sense anymore. So I only do it if it's requested, but it's definitely on the list. So it's a song that I wrote back when I was first starting to go up to Oklahoma and play music. And I would have a couple of beers up there before the show. And it was completely different than any beer I'd ever had in my whole life anywhere else. And so I asked, I was playing, I never forget, it was in Tulsa at the Mercury Lounge, and it was after sound check and before the show, and I was having a couple beers, and it just was different. And I asked the bartender what was going on, and he explained 3-2 beer to me. And I don't know, does L.A., you even know what 3-2 beer is? Is that? Oh, oh, man, okay. I thought you were from L.A. Okay, all right, okay. Awesome, okay. Okay, well, so anyway, the further away I get from Texas, I have to tell the story more because people don't know what 3-2 beer is. So anyway, I'm drinking this beer and I'm realizing it's different. And I asked him, and he explained it to me, and then I said, "Well, why would you do that?" And he said, "Well, it's we don't want people getting too drunk." And I said, "Okay, all right. I don't like it, but I get it." And so then I started asking, logistics questions. I said, "Is it, so they make this beer just for y'all?" And he said, "Yeah, us." And I think it was Kansas and Utah. Or there's like 3 or 4 states that were. Colorado was doing it at the time, and so I thought that was crazy that they just made beer just for those states, And so then I asked the next logical question, which was, "So you do the same thing with your whiskey?" And he looked at me like I was the weird one, and he goes, "No." And I thought, that is the most ridiculous law I've ever heard in my life. But that is an easy problem to fix. I will have a whiskey, please. So I wrote this song, and then I quit playing it because a few years ago, Oklahoma voted down 3-2 beer. They now have regular beer like the rest of the world. And I take full credit for that. I think this song is what did it. Also, in the same year, not only did they bring their beer up to code, they legalized weed at the same time. So they kind of leapfrogged over. Texas got some catching up to do. I got a whole other verse I got to write to this song now. Been a long day driving and I'm here in Okie City. I've been drinking at this bar for an hour now. Feeling all filled up, that's the only thing I'm feeling. And I remember where I am, I see the problem now. It's whiskey or nothing up in Oklahoma. Beer up here just won't do. Line 'em up, bartender, it don't have to be your finest. Okay, whiskey treats me better than that old 3-2. Well, I headed out this morning, driving south from Kansas City. Thought I'd make it back to Texas, but I didn't make good time, so I slammed a cold one back. Then another, oh my God, oh I forgot I gotta get a little shine. Whiskey or nothing up in Oklahoma. Beer up here just won't do. Line 'em up, bartender, it don't have to be your finest. Okay, whiskey treats me better than that old 3-2. Started drinking in a hurry, making up for lost time. Lost my mind a little early, lost my cool too easily. Now I'm sitting in a jailhouse, I guess I learned my lesson. No more messing around with whiskey in that OKC. Whiskey or nothing up in Oklahoma. Beer up here just won't do. Line 'em up, bartender, it don't have to be your finest. Okay, whiskey treats me better than that old 3-2. All right, thanks. That song's got the old fake ending, which is it's designed to get you to clap twice for the same song. It worked. It worked. Evangeline. Okay. Okay. Who said that? You said. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll do this. Here's another one. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I bet I haven't played this song in 5 years at least. We'll see what happens. Fare thee well, Evangeline, Missy La Maison, my Cajun queen. Well, I'm going back down to New Orleans. Fare thee well, Evangeline, when the waters were high and the days were long, I said goodbye, but I can't stay gone. Thanks for your time. But I said do, 'cause I don't belong. I'm going home. Fare thee well, Evangeline, Missy La Maison, Cajun queen. Well, I'm going back down to New Orleans. Fare thee well, Evangeline. Well, I waited for that sun to shine. Now this troubadour is gonna be just fine. Just you to adore, you've been too kind. But I got my umbrella and I'm headed for the second line. Fare thee well, Evangeline, Missy La Maison, my Cajun queen. Well, I'm going back down to New Orleans. Fare thee well, Evangeline. Fare thee well, Evangeline, Missy La Maison, my Cajun queen. Well, I'm going back down to New Orleans. Fare thee well, Evangeline. I said, fare thee well, Evangeline. Yeah. So we're close enough to Louisiana that and I'm gonna get called out on this, I think maybe, but I know it's Evangeline, but I needed it to rhyme with Queen real bad, so I changed it. So sorry, any Louisiana people. Okay, I want to do this. I got time for a couple more here. Let me do this song. This is a song that I came up with the idea for back in 2018 when my wife Courtney and I were touring around Europe, and we had a few days off at the end of the tour, and we went to this place we'd played a show in Rome. That was the end of the tour, and then we went about an hour and a half down the coast to this little beach called Anzio Beach. And the reason that we went is my grandfather fought there in World War II. It was his the big battle that he fought in, and so I'd heard the story my whole life. He'd talked about it a lot, and so before we went, I wanted to look into it a little more, and I found out that what happened was it was the southern surprise invasion of Europe, the way that Normandy was from the north. and the surprise part worked. They took this beach, and the surprise part was a complete success. And then the general that was in charge, instead of taking advantage of that, he held everybody on the beach, and he waited for these reinforcements. And because he waited, the Germans and the Italians found out, and they took over the cliffs above the beach, and they pinned 30,000 British and American and Canadian troops down. 30,000 troops from January to June 1944. They were stuck on this beach, and they were stuck there until the forces could come from the other side of Europe, the other side of Italy, and kind of rescue them. But it took 6 months for that to happen. And so I got there, and I was just expecting this huge beach, because I thought that's a lot of people, and to be stuck there. And I got there, and it was exactly the opposite. It was tiny. It was a tiny beach. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't even figure out how that worked, And so my grandfather used to say that he shared 3 different foxholes with people that died next to him. He lived through all 3 of them, but he had to, watch his foxhole partners die, and that's how close it was. And so I thought, man, if he had been on the other side of that foxhole, then I wouldn't be there to be thinking about it and to be looking at all that. So I wanted to write this song, and then finally in 2020 I called my friend Drew Kennedy, who's one of the best songwriters that I know, and I said, can you help me finish this thing up? And so we wrote this together. It's called French Summer Sun. Heard the quiet buzzing of a fly. For a second he wasn't quite sure what it was, till it tickled his face and he opened his eyes on a beach in the French summer sun. With sulfur in the air and the smell of something worse, he leaned up on his elbow and looked around, wiped some blood from his face, and saw his buddy James mangled and torn apart on the ground. Well, the medics got to him, and he thanked God they did. He spent 27 days in a field hospital before making the slow trip home to the States, minus one leg, which still seemed impossible. Got a job sorting mail at the Birmingham post office. 5 days a week, enough pay to get by. He met a beautiful girl through a mutual friend. 11 months later, that girl was his wife. But the nightmares are often and so vivid and real. He'd wake up screaming a few times a week. But she was patient and kind and stayed by his side. And in time, he found a more restful sleep. And by the next year, they had him a son who got drafted when he turned 18. And he went off to fight, but he came back whole, met my mom, and they had me. I come from a long line of soldiers whose blood's flowing through me. They fought in fields and foreign land so I could be who I wanted to be. Well, I broke the streak and I went to college instead of Kabul or Kuwait. Earned my degree and I got hired to teach Shakespeare and Wordsworth and Yeats. At a decent-sized high school outside of Atlanta, I did the best that I could. Yeah, that's heady stuff for kids that age. But all in all, I think I did some good. I come from a long line of soldiers blood still flowing through me. They fought in fields and foreign lands, so I could be who I wanted to be. He heard the quiet buzzing of a fly. For a second, he wasn't quite sure what it was, till it tickled his face and he opened his eyes, and then he died there in that French summer sun. And that girl he would have met sorting mail back in Birmingham, she met a lawyer and they fell in love. So their story ends before it began, on that beach in the French summer sun. And that child she had, well, that wasn't my dad, and I wasn't ever his son. So my story ends before it began, on that beach in the French summer sun. And I come from a long line of soldiers whose blood flowed into the sea. And war took more than just one life. It took him and his son and me. Keeping the party going. That's not the right one to follow that way. That's a lot. That's impressive. I will tell you the story with Happy Man. It's really funny. We went to Europe. The band was invited to Europe to play in a line dancing festival in France, and you haven't lived till you've seen a line dancing festival in France. They're serious. They're serious about it. And there's no French people here, right? I hope not, because I just butchered French in my last song, too. So yeah, they dress up, and they dress up, and like their idea of what country people dress up is like cowboys and Indians, and chaps and like spurs on their boots and stuff. It's like if we went to France and just wore berets and painted, and took our easels with us and stuff. That's so it's that. So you're there. Anyway, that has nothing to do with the story. On the way out, they set us up in Paris one night, and night before we fly out, and it's a Tuesday night, and I always thought Paris is like New York. I thought, one of those cities that never sleeps, and so we went out, and it turns out it does sleep. And Tuesday nights, evidently, is the night everybody sleeps, and there's just nothing going on. But we hear this commotion coming out of this bar across the street, and we go over there, and it's a Croatian bar, and they're doing old Croatian folk songs, and just oh, it was the best. It's why you travel internationally to see this stuff, really. It was just the best. And they're just doing this thing, and they're all singing, and we thought, this is the coolest. This is exactly where we needed to land. So we did, and we sit at the bar, and the bartender asks what we're doing there, because obviously not Croatian. And I told him, and he disappears. And what he did was he went to the back, and he put my music up. He pulled it up on Spotify, and he plays it he replaces the Croatian folk songs with my music over this overhead. And at first I thought, that's really cool. And then it was not cool at all. Because it turns out if you don't know somebody's music, if you just play them, it just plays the most popular songs. And my most popular songs are just sad, depressing country songs. And so it was one sad, depressing country song, and then another one, and then another one. And I look around about 10 minutes later, and what had been this raging party that we walked into was just cleared the room. Everybody was outside smoking. Even my own band was outside smoking. And I'm sitting at the bar going, my God, if anybody, I would be worried about this guy that's singing. I would be worried about him. And so I decided I wanted to come home and write a song and call it Happy Man and tell the world that I'm not sad. I'm a happy person. The problem is the way that I wrote it, it sounds like a very sad, depressing country song. So that's why I can't play it right now, because it's not a good follower of that one. But go listen to Happy Man, and it'll tell you that I'm not a sad person. All right. So I grew up over in Jackson, Mississippi. And I don't get to play there much. They don't ask me to come play in Jackson, Mississippi. I can't believe that this song had anything to do with it at all. God, don't make me go back to Jackson. The sky turns black every time I do. Heaven don't like the way I'm living. God, don't make me go back to Jackson. The sky turns black every time I do. Straight on the side of the highway, he got nothing left to lose. Soon he's going home to Jesus. God, don't make me go back to Jackson. The sky turns black every time I do. Well, I was baptized in a muddy water, my soul broken like a weather shoe. Can't you hear that choir singing? God, don't make me go back to Jackson. The sky turns black every time I do. Well, I hopped a train just south of Memphis, and I found myself in Baton Rouge. Well, I got out with my soul still burning. God, don't make me go back to Jackson. The sky turns black every time I do. God, don't make me go back to Jackson. The sky turns black every time I do. Living on life the way I'm living. God, don't make me go back to Jackson. The sky turns black every time I do. Said, God, don't make me go back to Jackson. The sky turns black every time I do. All right, I got time for a couple more here. I'm gonna do this one. I like to do this kind of thing every time I'm down here. I know this is the Old Quarter Acoustic Cafe, and there's a lot of history here. And last week was Town Van Zant's birthday, so when I moved over here again, that was one of the things I'd figured out was just how unbelievably good and influential he was. So I always try to do at least one town song when I come here, so I'm going to do this one. I'm going out on the highway, listen to them big trucks whine. I'm going out on the highway, listen to them big trucks whine. Oh, white Freightliner, won't you steal away my mind? But New Mexico ain't bad, and all the people there, they treat you kind. I said New Mexico ain't bad, and all the people there, they treat you kind. Oh, white Freightliner, won't you steal away my mind? Well, I'm going out on the highway, listen to them big trucks whine. Well, I'm going out on the highway, listen to them big trucks whine. Oh, white Freightliner, won't you steal away my mind? Well, if you see Miss Genevieve, tell her that I'm doing fine. I said, if you see Miss Genevieve, tell her that I'm doing fine. Oh, white Freightliner, won't you steal away my mind? Well, I'm going out on the highway, listen to them big trucks whine. Well, I'm going out on the highway, listen to them big trucks whine. Oh, white Freightliner, won't you steal away my mind? Oh, white Freightliner, won't you steal away my mind? Oh, white Freightliner, won't you steal away my mind? All right, thank you. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to close on this next one, and I really appreciate y'all coming down, and it's so good to see this room full again, and thanks for supporting live music, and thanks for supporting these venues, and y'all be sure and buy a drink on your way out and support this place. These places are few and far between around the country, and I spend my whole career looking for these kind of rooms, you know, and they're there, but there's not enough of them, and so it's really special to have these kinds of rooms. And so thanks, Joel, for having me back and for keeping this place going. Yeah. So I'm going to do this next one. It is called the Acoustic Cafe, and I am playing an acoustic guitar. So I'm going to do this last one in a way that I only get to do in rooms like this. So I'm going to turn the PA off, and I'm just going to do this unplugged and acoustic. So this is the last time I'll have the mic. I do have stuff over there in the corner, and y'all go see my friend Matt will be taking care of you over there. So thank you again for coming out. It means the world to me. See you here. Thanks.